we had started a conversation with Ericsson a couple of years ago, thinking about ways that we might be able to collaborate with them. And I think context here is really important because Purdue University is a tier one research institution, very strong in STEM and engineering. And so for us, from my engagement in this, it wasn't necessarily about trying to solve a specific problem at the airport, but it was really thinking about trying to create a platform that could drive aviation innovation. And that led us to what Adam had sort of mentioned, this idea of the airport of the future and what does that really look like? And could we start building and testing and developing some of these forward-thinking technology applications and solutions as part of an innovation agenda associated with Purdue University? Purdue is a unique place because not only are we a leading tier one research institution, but we own and operate our own airport. And actually, Adam can comment on this, but I think back in the I think 60s maybe, we actually ran our own airline for a while. Maybe it was earlier than that. I'm not sure. That has long since passed, but a long history in aviation. And so thinking about leveraging the capabilities of the university, the fact we have our own airport, and in a very sort of engaged partner in Ericsson, leading and thinking about how to really drive innovation in aviation. So that was like the initial kind of dialogue and origin story of this. That then brought us around to Saab, who is also, they have a physical presence at the university. They have a site, a manufacturing site there, and they do a lot of engagement with faculty around research projects. But then we started talking to Saab and said, if we're advancing an innovation platform around aviation, is that interesting? Are there things that Saab might want to do on that innovation platform? And I think this is where Craig could probably comment a little bit, but the short answer is yes. Saab was interested in this idea. And so then we really built kind of the platform, if you will. And the platform is basically a way to work with companies where they can come in and demonstrate and develop solutions for sort of airport of the future kind of concepts. And so we're looking at things that really drive improvements in passenger satisfaction, passenger experience, airport operations, flight operations, safety, security, the whole gambit of everything as you think about an airport and all the different pieces that go into that. We're looking to drive innovation in that space broadly. So with the connection of a private wireless 5G network as a piece of really useful infrastructure along with the airport, that was this idea. And so now we're in the process of sort of building this out and working with companies to come and demonstrate projects. We probably have about a dozen companies we're talking to right now in the process of defining scope of projects that they would like to deploy. And these are projects, this isn't basic research, which Purdue University is very good at, but these are very applied. So as you think about things that are ready for market or just about ready for market, thinking about how do you bring them into the marketplace and how do you demonstrate it at a working airport? How do you get user experience? How do you get data supporting the application that it works the way it's supposed to work? How do you validate it? And how do you do that in a highly regulated environment that involves, in many cases, the TSA or the FAA? And then carriers and passenger transportation and freight logistics and the whole thing. But that's really the platform that we've built. In addition to that, we're also in the process of building out an advisory board. And so thinking about these new solutions and these new technology applications, they're really being launched into an industry that's really driven by, in large part, the airports and the carriers. And so thinking about building an advisory board made up of carriers, the airlines, as well as airports of varying sizes, and really using that advisory board as a sounding board to provide feedback to the companies we're doing projects with, but also as a source of project ideas. So really, in a sense, working with the customers to understand, whether it's a regional airport, a large national airport, an international airport, or a regional carrier or an international carrier, what are the things that they're thinking about? What are their pain points and what are solution ideas that they have And then can we take that as kind of a research agenda and try and find solutions in the marketplace that would solve that problem, and then bring it to Purdue to kind of demonstrate it, deploy it, kick the tires on it, do due diligence on it, and in a large respect, de-risk it. And so the idea of de-risking it is sort of seminal to the idea that we have, because when you think about how do you integrate new solutions into this very complex and regulated environment, we really see it as an arc, right? Like you crawl, walk, run. And with our airport and the size of it and the work, the operations that we do at our airport, we're sort of the first leg of that. Showcase it here, demonstrate it here, let us understand it, de-risk it. And then can we work with some of our other partners to take it to a bigger airport, and then from there take it to even a bigger airport? And so this becomes kind of a pathway that new technologies can actually come into the marketplace and penetrate the marketplace in a way that airports and airlines are more willing to sort of accept it and adopt it, because we're starting to work to build the proof case and the data that supports that the solutions actually work the way they're supposed to. And we can validate it as part of the process of the platform that we're building here.
Awesome.
So let me pause there. That was a lot. Sorry to sort of monologue there, but I think that context about what it is we're doing here is a little different than thinking about a large international airport and just deploying a solution to solve a problem. That wasn't really the angle that we entered into this with. It was much more of this idea of an innovation agenda and advancing airport of the future kind of concepts. Let me pause there and see, Craig, Saab is kind of the first, customer is the wrong word, but the first partner that came in to actually demonstrate a project. So maybe, Craig, maybe you could talk a little bit about the platform that you deployed here and kind of the experience you had working with our environment at the Purdue Airport.